Today I've got a combat bow class for complete beginners. We're going to be working on our free-flowing style of combat or realistic sparring bow. These techniques and the way that we're demonstrating them is different than the way we would do them for traditional or kata purpose. The idea here is we're fighting against another staff, or even against a sword or empty hand and other types of weapons. Now, to get started, we're going to do a warm-up to get ourselves moving and our joints lubricated and ready to go. Then we're going to move into learning our basic combat holds or grips, and then the stances and the positions, and doing a couple of drills with footwork, and we're going to finish up with a cool down. So let's go ahead and get started. Stay with me all the way through, and you'll get a lot out of this class today. To get started with our warm-up, we're actually going to begin with basic squats, but I actually call this a squat with a push. So you're going to just squat down and push the staff out. Here, squat down, push the staff out. Okay, just stay with me. Sitting back into your behind there, keeping your back straighter. Today's class, I'm actually using a rattan bow. I'm going to use it especially to show you the quarters of the staff, and because it will be useful for some of the demonstrations I will have. Of course, use your normal natural wood staff, whatever it may be today, whatever you have, whether it be a padded bow, ash, oak, everything will work. A couple more. Okay, switching to lunge with push. We lunge, and we push the staff up over our head. We're just doing switching legs, lunges here. If any exercise is ever too difficult for you, or if I'm going too fast, you don't have to do reps as fast as I am. And if you're just not able to do it for some sort of physical limitation, change it out for something else. But I want you to keep moving. That's important, especially during the warm-up. Notice the name warm-up. We want to increase our temperature and our heart rate. Okay, good. We're going to move into isolated front kicks. All I want you to do is hold the staff in our normal hold. Put it on our right shoulder. Put it on your right shoulder like this. Get into a left fighting stance, left leg's in front. We're actually going to kick, just do a front kick to the inside of the staff. Stay with me, go. All we're doing here is isolating our arms, isolating our leg really, by getting our arms in a stationary position. This is going to really work your core a lot more as you're doing this front kick, which is the goal here. We're squeezing in our abdominals. We want to have a lot of focus on our core and be aware of it during bow practice. Switch. Now, staff is over your shoulder on the left side. We're kicking with our left leg, kicking to the inside of the staff. I have my elbow up on that back arm, really both elbows up, because again, I'm just getting my arms out of the way, not using them, forcing my abs and my core to do more work on this kick. Don't forget to be breathing in and out. At whatever pace is good for you, but as long as you're taking deeper breaths so you can get more oxygen into your system. Moving on to isolated back kicks. What you're doing here, holding the staff in the middle third, putting it out in front of you, getting ready in somewhat of a horse stance, and just doing a kick behind you, a back kick off of the right leg. Work on keeping those arms in front of you, keeping the staff as parallel to the ground as you can as you do this. It's a little bit harder, again, because you're just isolating the glutes now and forcing your core and your lower back to engage so that you don't lose your balance, which is excellent. Okay, switch, other leg now. These kicks don't have to be perfect. They're a warm-up. By isolating our arms in front of us, you may start to get a little bit of a burn in your arms too, which is good. A couple of more. All right, nice. Moving in to a dynamic stretch, the dead leg swing. All we're doing here, put your staff behind your back, hold the staff out to your one side, holding it out to my right side. I'm swinging my leg out and back. It's a dead leg swing because you're not totally engaging it and controlling the leg all the way down and back. The goal is just to swing the inside of the foot to the staff and then dead leg it back out. Be careful to where you're able to maneuver well on your ankle and your hips. If you have ankle or knee or hip major stiffness or issues, this could be hard. I would just do something really simple like this. But if you're okay with a more extended stretch, this is warming up our hip flexor. And just getting some dynamic energy flowing throughout our legs as well. Okay, switch the staff to the left side, dead leg swing. Whew. Breathe in, getting ready for an awesome class. Hope you guys are getting warmed up out there. Probably didn't expect a lot of leg work. This is a bow class, right? Well, as you know, strengthening your legs and having good stances is a huge component of proper bow practice. One more. All right, now we're warmed up and ready for class. In our first lesson, we're going to briefly learn each of the combat grips and take a look at how they really work. Now, first thing I want you to understand is we know that the front of our staff and the attack holding hand is the tip. And the rear, of course, is the heel. But we also have 4 quarters in our staff. But I want you to understand what they are. So we can break our staff into fourths. We have quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Or first, second, third, and fourth quarter, okay? Now the first quarter is at the top. It's closest to the tip, and then the fourth quarter would be at the bottom, closest to the heel. Again, that can change depending on what you do with your staff, but always know that if you have that attack hand in front, that's the tip. That would be quarter 1, 2, 3, and then 4, okay? Now, first grip we want to learn and understand really well is the normal combat grip. We learned our traditional normal hold, which was when, remember, we took a third of the staff and we brought our hands in just a little bit. It's more centered. The difference between a traditional normal hold and a combat normal hold is just bringing our hands closer to the heel. So if you have pieces of tape or just you understand the quarters of your staff like this, I could put my hands on these last 2 pieces of tape, the last 2 intersecting parts of the quarter, and then move them up a little bit. That's about where my normal combat hold is, right there. Or again, the very simplistic way is starting with your third of the bow, bring your hands in, slide them down some. The point is, whenever you're doing combat bow, you need a little bit more of the staff protruding forward towards your opponent. You want to have more weapon between yourself and that other person. Just having it in the center is good for some of our traditional techniques and preparations and movements, but for combat, we have more options if our hands are down just a little bit. So that's our normal grip or a normal hold. Let's not worry about footwork and stances and all that yet. We'll work on that later in the class. So just hold it like that for me. Again, palm is up, palm is down. If my right palm is up, that will make it a right hand dominant. If my left palm is up, that makes that a left hand dominant. So let's talk about switching hands, the proper way to do it. We're in our normal hold position. Now if we want to switch from this to the other side of our hip, for example, slide your back hand up to where your front hand is, remove your front hand, and then just bring it to where the backhand position was. And that's that simple. You slide it, replace. So if you want to take a look from the back angle here, I'm in my right hand dominant position, normal hold. If I want to switch, I slide my back hand up, let go of the front, and then replace. Whether it be with a shuffle step or just switching hands on the fly, it's just sliding up, letting go, sliding up, letting go. It's very important that you always have a hand on your staff, or at least some fingertips, because if you try to do something like toss it to switch hands or something like this, the staff you could drop it, someone could hit the staff and you lose it. You always maintain some sort of feel on the staff. We want to get so good that if you have tapered bows and everything, you'll get so good at understanding where your hands are on the staff, like I said, even if you're blindfolded, because you get so used to the ridges and the movement of your staff. You want to make your staff your best friend. That is our normal hold though, okay? And that's how we switch. If you want to practice switching with me, let's put it on your left hip, switch to the right hip, switch to the left hip, switch, right, switch, left. Now let's add a footwork change too. Switch, 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 switch. Just getting real used to switch. How to move your hands on the staff. Switching with me, with your feet. Again, we usually do change our footwork when we switch our hands, but you don't have to. You could easily switch to get it to the other side. You could switch to get into a position to do a type of strike or a block. That's our normal combat hold. Next is the overhand hold. Overhand hold is just where both of our palms are down, around the same position of the staff, or maybe more centered, but either way it works the same. Our palms are down, and from here we can do locks, levers, joints, lots of different things. It's a closer in hold for when you're near your opponent. You can lever them, move them around better. And you just get better power from certain strikes, such as descending strikes and the such. So that is an overhand hold. Very simplistic, just both palms are down. You could switch hands, and then to do an overhand, you just roll your palm over. You just open the palm and roll the hand. So if I'm in my normal hold and I want to switch, that's simple. Again, the idea of always having some of my hand on the staff though, so I can easily transition. Next hold we're going to talk about is the long hold. So if we're in our normal hold position, the long hold is whenever we take our back hand and we get about 1 fist length away from the heel of the staff, and our front hand is around the center of 1/4-3. Or again, 1/4-3 would be here, 1/4-4 is here. So around the center of it, maybe a little bit higher up. But you notice much of our staff is out in front of us. We can do really high strikes here. We can do really extended deflections and movements and thrust. There are a lot of advantages distance-wise to being able to block your opponent from far away and then do things like thrust, for example. So that is our long hold. Switch, hands to the other hip. Switch, hands and feet. Switch, switch. Staying with me. Switch. You want to get all these reps in. Switch, switch. That's it. That's your long hold right there. So we've learned our normal, overhand, and long hold. Our last most important one is the reverse hold. Reverse hold is the complete opposite of long hold. You're just getting the front hand about 1 fist length away from the tip, and then the back hand again is around the middle of what would be now quarter number 2, or closer to the end of that quarter. From here, I can do things like levering strikes, low strikes. You can do high deflections, reverse thrust, a different aspect of staff fighting. You want to learn all of the holds, all of the stances, all of the positions, because you're going to find what works best for you, for your body type, and what you're most comfortable with. But it's very free-flowing. To switch now, switch hands, this is a little bit more different. Same idea, but you need to kind of throw the staff out in front of you in order to swing it around. There are other ways to do it, such as this, but I like to do a little bit more of a swing, make it very easy. And that's your reverse hold. We're going to practice all of those holds again, but this time we're going to be doing an angle 1 or 2 strike. Angle 1 and 2 are striking down at your opponent's left quadrant, high quadrant, and then their right high quadrant. So if I'm looking at my opponent right here, and I'm in the normal hold, this would be their angle 1, and this would be their angle 2, striking at their shoulders or neck level or so. I want you to follow along with me. We're going to practice each hold and then an angle 1 and 2 strike. The point of this drill is to get the feel for the different types of holds and the strikes that you can do from them and how they vary in strength, power, performance, distance-wise, and timing-wise. So let's start in a right fighting stance, right legs in front. Get into your normal combat hold, just a normal hold, remember. Start in the third, slide your hands down towards the heel a little bit, good to go. So we're going to do an angle 1 strike. Bring your staff up to the corner, swinging down and across, striking to your opponent's neck. Just getting a feel for how that works. A little bit of a ringing action with the staff. Now, if we're going to do an angle 2 strike, rather than just turning like this, I'm going to move my hands a little bit down the staff, or up the staff actually, so I have more leverage, and it's essentially the opposite of the normal hold, striking to that side of their high line. Go back, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. Stay with me. Angle 1, angle 2. Now let's switch hands, switch sides. We're going to practice, but we'll call it angle 2 and angle 1 now. Ready? Angle 2, angle 1. Back. Just getting a feel for going back to your hold, going back to the position. Angle 2, angle 1. Angle 2, angle 1. Now we're going to learn these strikes in depth in future Chevron levels. We're purely practicing them for just to get a feel for your holds. You don't have to know those strikes perfectly yet. We're actually working on those in the next Chevron levels. Okay, let's go back to our right fighting stance position. Go to an overhand hold. From this overhand hold, we're going to do, I'll go in your position here, we're going to do an angle 2 and then an angle 1. Just feel it. Does it feel stronger? How does it feel different than whenever you're doing a normal hold? Ready? Angle 2, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1. Good. Switch. Now we're going to do angle 1 and then angle 2. Angle 1, angle 2. Still in that overhand hold. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. Good. Going on to the long hold. We're in our long hold position. This time, same idea. We're going to do angle 1 and then transition down, angle 2. This is also teaching us how to move our hands in between each strike, sliding them down the staff, getting used to repositioning depending on the side or the angle we're hitting with. So we're in our right fighting stance, long hold, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. Again, how does it feel different? Levering, push and pull action. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 1, angle 2. Switching hands, switching legs. Angle 2, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1. I'm just adding a step out now just to compensate for the length of the staff better. Angle 2, angle 1, angle 2, angle 1. All right, last one, reverse hold. Swing it down. We're going to do the same type of descending strike. What I'm going to do is angle 2 first. I'm going to here. So again, angle 2, angle 1. So I'm adding a forward step into this. Again, these are just for practicing and getting a feel for the hold and what it's like. Angle 2. A reset, reposition to a left hand dominant long hold. Angle 1. All right. Angle 2. Reset. Angle 1. Good. All right. One more time. Other side. Angle 1. Angle 2. Angle 1. Angle 2. And back. All right, guys. Hope that lesson made sense. Whole idea is we're working on going from normal to overhand to long hold to reverse hold and getting used to those. We're going to need to practice it much more, but that was a good beginning look at the combat grips. In this section, we're going to practice proper combat bow footwork. First, let's look at our important fighting stance. This is the combat bow basic fighting stance, which you're going to do most of your fighting out of. Go ahead and put your feet together. Take them about shoulder width apart. Slide your left leg back. Now turn that foot out some. Bend your knees. It's relaxed. It's fighting. It's almost like a kickboxing or a boxing stance. It's not totally bladed sideways. It's not a front stance like we do in our traditional technique portion. Our legs are closer together. It's more natural. Switch legs. So you should feel pretty good sort of just stepping around, but we're going to get very used to using proper footwork, step and slide whenever we do combat bow. So when we start sparring with each other with our staffs, we're going to be very natural with the way we're moving our feet. Now, we're like this. Our knees are bent. We're light on our feet. We're not exactly up on the balls of our feet, but our heels are definitely not flat down either. You should be able to move around and kind of hop pretty comfortably. Switch legs. It should feel very easy to move, hop, do quick actions. You shouldn't feel heavy on your feet. That's the idea of a combat bow fighting stance. So if we're in our right fighting stance in our normal hold position, let's just hold it there for now. Let's actually switch legs. Step forward, switch legs, step back. Just so we're transitioning into a good fighting stance. Forward, back. Forward, back. Forward, back. I'm going to do this across the length of the floor. If you have plenty of space, do that as well. If not, just keep switching. Forward, switch. Forward, 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 back, 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 back. Nothing fancy, just getting used to being lighter on your feet. Now, in terms of footwork, we want to use what's called a step and slide or a step and drag method. If you want to move forward, step forward with the front leg and then slide the back leg up. So step forward and slide. Step forward and slide. That's a forward footwork movement. Forward. If you're going to go back, step back and then slide. Forward, back. Forward, back. When I do that, my back heel definitely comes up because I'm in a point where I may transition to the side, I may transition back, I may bend. I'm not overcommitting to this stance by putting my heel way down to the ground. Forward, back, forward, back. Switch hands, switch legs, forward, back, forward, back. Switch hands, switch legs. Back to the front angle here. Talking about side to side, same idea. If I'm going to go to my right, I'm going to take my right leg first and then my left. I keep my shoulders and hips somewhat square. I'm not totally bladed here. I'm not all the way square. I'm a little bit bladed though. But when I step over, it's a straight step. I don't turn and step. I just step in a horizontal fashion and drag. If I'm going to go left, left, right. Right, left, left, right. Right, left, left, right. Right, left, left, right. Switch legs, switch hands. Left, right, right, left. Left, right, right, left. Switch legs, switch hands. Stay with me now. Forward, backward. Right, left. Forward, backward. Backward, left. Right, forward, forward, left. Okay, great job. Last major thing we want to talk about is a quarter turn. A quarter turn is when you go offline. So instead of, you could just step offline like that, of course, but you totally go offline, a 90-degree step. So you take your back leg and you turn. You do a complete quarter turn, of course, with the back foot. You can step forward as well, but for the purpose of a defensive quarter turn, we're going to use our back foot. Step back, quarter turn, quarter turn. Now if we reset here, let's do another quarter turn. Reset here, quarter turn, reset here, quarter turn, switch, reset, quarter turn, reset, quarter turn, reset, quarter turn, reset, quarter turn, switch legs, switch hands. Let's go into what I call the around the world footwork drill. Integrating all of those together and actually doing some strikes that make sense with the directions we're going. What we're going to do is start in our right fighting stance, normal hold. Look at how you're stringing all these things together now. You know your hold, you know your stance, you know what you're doing. You're getting a lot better, aren't you, right? So now we're going to do a stepping forward movement and just do a little thrust. Stepping backward, reverse thrust. Nothing fancy, just pushing out into the step. Now if we step to the right, as you turn, do a rib strike. Step to the left, rib strike. Forward, back, right, left. Now we're going to do a quarter turn and what we call a horizontal deflection. Bringing the staff over your head at a downward angle. You're actually deflecting a high line strike with your bow. We're going to learn it in a later Chevron level, but we're using it for practice today. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter turn. All the way around the world. Ready. And go. Forward, back, right, left, quarter turn, reset. 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 All right, switch legs, switch hands. Other direction now. Forward, back, left, right, quarter turn, reset. Forward, back, left, right, quarter turn, reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter turn, reset. Forward, back, left, right, quarter turn, reset. Switch. Great job, guys. All right, good job on that drill. Let's move on. All right, everyone, we're going to take it down a notch, cool our body down, stretch out a little bit. Set your staff aside. Don't actually need it. I know you're going to miss your staff, but you'll be okay. All right, guys, first let's get started. Like a downward dog position, your legs are apart, hands out in front of you. You can get on your fingertips or put your palms down, feeling a stretch through your legs. Go ahead and dip down into this. Come up into a cobra stretch. We want to get our chest up off the ground. Keeping our hips low. Always breathing. Let's roll over onto our back. We did some pretty good leg work today, especially in the warm-up. Let's do a deep glute stretch. Put one leg in front of your thigh. Pull on that other thigh or the other leg. Stretching the glute. Switch. Okay, good stretch in. Being balanced, cooling down. All right, sitting up, legs in front of you. Put your left leg on the side of your right leg. Bring your left arm on the outside of your left leg. Rotate, try and look behind you as far as you can. Without hurting your back, but getting it a gentle stretch. Switch. Okay, just take a moment to lie down, legs apart, arms out to your side. Take a deep breath in. And out. Extend your legs out, your arms up behind you, stretching out your whole body. Deep breath. All right, and sit back up or lay down for a little bit longer if you want to relax after your class. All right, guys, hope you all enjoyed class today. I had a lot of fun. Those combat bow techniques are very free-flowing. It's much different than a lot of traditional martial arts where you have to rigidly do a certain technique at a certain spot at a certain time, like you would see in a kata, for example. So don't worry about hitting the exact point every time. We're going to work on body targets later on. Right now, we just want to get used to transitioning to different grips as we move our feet in a very comfortable, fluid way. And that's how we're going to build on as we move forward. We build on from our footwork and our stances and our grips and our positions to our strikes and then to our blocks and then to combinations and to much higher level types of sparring and fighting. And I'll see you guys in the next class.